Hi, I'm Amishi Vadgama. I've joined Nirma University and I teach the industrial design students. Also the coordinator of admissions this year for 2020 and coordinator of foundation as well. So at Nirma University for admissions 2020, for the Department of Design, we've affiliated with UCED, IIT Bombay, and there is basically a 300 mark paper in which there is part A and part B examination. With Nirma University, we consider part A marks. So every student who is appearing for UCED is eligible to apply at Nirma University, and the registrations are online on the website. We consider part A, which is 50% of the marks. 30% is a separate situation test which happens here in Ahmedabad. That is the only center. So all the students who are aspiring, who have applied at Nirma University, will be coming here. And 20% is a personal interview that we do, and they could also show their portfolio if they have any. So that's the procedure that we follow in terms of application at Nirma University. And the student has to have a minimum of 50% passing marks from whichever board they've studied. So basically, once they've finished with their application, we generally have 3 steps to our application procedure. Step number 1 would be when our October admissions were open, you have an online registration. Step 2 would be on 18th of January, there's an examination, All India examination that they take, UCED, which they are supposed to apply, and they need to take the examination at that time. And the third would be once the UCED results are out of part A, then all the students who have applied for that, for the third part, will come to a situation test and a personal interview here during the end of April, which will be mentioned online. And 4th of May is when we have our results that are declared from Nirma University. With regards to the procedure of the situation test, number 1, we've affiliate with UCED. So the entire portion where their basically their visual presence, the identification of patterns, their logical thinking, all those criteria get completed within part A of UCED. At situation test is where we want them to understand, where they are introduced to material and they see handling of material, and it is creativity based. So it's drawing creativity and material driven. So we need to know how they are approaching the material, how they deal with it, and what happens when they are given that particular detail on the spot. So that's what their presence of mind and creativity at that time is what we're looking at. Yes, so the personal interview also is a one-on-one basis with the panel, and it is basically run over 5 different days. So all the students are then called according to that, and they will be asked questions about their work and different questions. They can also present their portfolio, but it is an optional. It's not mandatory to have a portfolio. I think I would rather like to say that it's not just about Nirma, it's about any design examination. I think one, they need to be very sure that they want to do design. Second is they need to have their presence of mind. So whatever the questions are, if they know it, they know it. If they don't, they don't. Thirdly, if the majority is creativity based, the more relaxed they are, the more they'll be able to concentrate on the written paper of UCED. And the second part is where it's creativity, they're just having fun. So I think when they deal with an examination, it's not bookish, but they need to have fun with the examination and the experience of it as a whole. That's what I feel. Yeah. So to answer that, because we've seen 4 batches of students, which is around more than 230 students for 3 years, and this will be the 4th batch. There are many students who have come from coaching classes. There are some who've been practicing this as a hobby. Some have gone to drawing classes. So there's a range that we've seen in the ability of what the students can do. But I somehow feel that a portfolio which is made as a mandatory option should not be there. Students who have their little file where they've done different kind of work on their own is also appreciated, because sometimes students come up with beautiful work. Like I met one of the students where she had really long hair, she had gone and cut her hair really short, and she made a whole artwork with that hair, which is very different, which not many people do. So today the students have developed a lot of creativity. So everything is welcome. If they have their work on their own, that is also welcome, because they have an inbuilt ability. If some students need a little help, they go to coaching classes and then they mold them. But a special creativity from their own is more important, I feel, than what the agenda of the coaching class would be. Currently, we really don't feel that going to a coaching class is mandatory, because a lot of them teach similar things as an introduction, which is color theory and all of that. But the thing is that if it's an institution, for example, Nirma, the people who run it have been more than 30 years in this education. So they've known what happens through these 30 years in terms of design. In a coaching class, it's not something that has been there for so long, so they will not concentrate in terms of a long-term holistic evolvement of the child. So that is something that I feel that they really need to learn it at an institute which is rooted to design and which is going to continue for years to come, apart from just a coaching class where they would probably go. But yes, they are doing a good job where they have a lot of students who come, they mold them, and that is also something that they do. So that is much appreciated for every student. We want to join UCET because then that becomes a centralized test, and more institutes that affiliate with it will be more important. And then our criteria is that we don't want to just have UCET as the importance. We want to also have a Nirma University identity where the situation test comes in, where we want to know how the child is he's reacting to different kind of materials or his creativity. So then we have his ability in terms of visual or spatial ability, that they logical thinking, and then we have the creativity. So an amalgamation of that would be a criteria that we choose a student on, and their personal interview where we interact one-on-one with the student. So all those three combine together for us to be sure that this student should be eligible for being in Nirma University Department of Design. We have something which is called a needy fund, and every year there are students who are selected. We take the documents of their parents, their income. We also take the documents of the student, where how they've appeared in the exams, and how we also take a document from the faculty and the HOD where how we see their performances. So there is a needy fund, and depending on the situation, then a grant is given to the student where they would probably waive off certain fees, or they would give some sort of a scholarship. So that is also something that Nirma University has.